One of the most highly regarded aspects about Dark Souls 1 is its spectacular level design, in the first half at least. Everything is just so perfectly stitched together with that interconnectivity. Each environment feels different from the last, and despite all this, most players want to get through these areas as quickly as possible. But what if you didn't want to do that? What if you thought maybe this whole chosen undead thing isn't for me, and just wanted a place to settle down? Well, that's what this is all about. The top 5 best places to live in Dark Souls.
1.
Before we get into it, I've got a few rules here. Number 1, no Firelink Shrine. I mean, this is just objectively the best place to live, so it would just be too easy. Number 2, we don't need to worry about getting adequate nutrition or hydration. Obviously, having some access to food would be nice, but for the sake of this video, it's not a requirement, just a bonus. And finally, we're going to assume that enemies do respawn, so you can't just clear out all of Anor Londo and have a sick castle all to yourself. Alright, let's go. Quags Domain. Yeah, it ain't much, but you could certainly call it home. Just through this illusory wall and you've got the best spot. All the lava around the place would help keep things nice and warm, but since you're somewhat deep within a cave, it probably wouldn't get too hot either. But beyond that, there is pretty much nothing to do here. You've got to put up with Einji as a roommate, which is like... I really just don't like him. And it's not like Quags' sister's got anything to say to you. Your options for recreational walks are also really garbage. On one end, you've got Blighttown, on the other, you've got Lost Izalith. I mean, you're quite literally sandwiched between the two most hated areas in the entire game. The living conditions are definitely livable, but other than that, you don't really have anything else. I mean, if you're cool with eating spider eggs, then I guess there's something, but for me personally, if I had to live with Einji for more than like 10 minutes, I'd probably go hollow. Ash Lake. This is probably the safest area in all of Dark Souls because of just how well hidden it is. No one will be able to find you here, except Siegemeier, I guess. The only dangers here are the Hydra and these clam guys, but they're pretty easy to run past. It may seem kind of boring down here, but there are plenty of activities you could do to pass the time, like swimming, cooking every possible mushroom-related dish known to man, tree climbing, ash castle building, and I'm sure you could fashion some kind of hut out of all this wood here, leaving you with a house by the sea, or whatever you'd call this body of water. The one main issue with this place is that isolation. The only friendly creature here is the everlasting dragon, and yeah, he can't even talk. It's a chill place if you don't mind being completely alone, but if I'm gonna live somewhere, I'm definitely gonna want some people to spend time with. Anor Londo, specifically the interior. In terms of luxury and quality, this is the place. You've got beds, furniture, amazing chest ahead, it's always sunny as well. Even though it's not real, who really cares? You could easily bring a bunch of different furniture into one of these bedrooms and make the sickest pad. You could go on runs down these massive empty expanses, admire the beautiful artwork, and you've even got a few locals to hang out with from time to time. And technically, if the conditions are right, you can summon Solaire! But there are definitely some reasons that this isn't higher on the list. Mainly because there are Silver Knights everywhere. Sure, they don't usually wander into rooms, but for me at least, the looming threat of being stabbed in my sleep is just enough to keep me awake at night. And I don't think there's really a way to turn off the sun here. Well, at least not without keeping it turned off forever. Ulasil Sanctuary. Yeah, this one little clearing is classified as its own area. Sure, it's not very big, but I mean, come on, it's got Sanctuary in the name. This place is sort of like its own miniature Firelink shrine. You've even got a bonfire right in the middle. Sure, you don't have all the different people to talk with from Firelink Shrine, but at least you got Elizabeth over here, and on your doorstep, you've got the entire royal wood to hang out in. And sure, there are like 1, 2, 40 of these gardener guys, but to be honest, they aren't really too hard to deal with. I mean, you could probably snatch their tools off them and do some gardening of your own. You've got plenty of access to wood for building. You could probably forage some of these mystical plants for some fruit, and if not, I'm sure you could eventually convince Elizabeth to give you some of her mushrooms free of charge. Overall, it's a pretty sweet place to call home, but there's still one area that ranks higher. Okay, this might seem like a weird pick, but hear me out. Dark Root Garden. Think about it. Humans, even undead ones, are social beings. If I'm gonna set up shop somewhere, I'm gonna want people to talk to. And well, there just so happens to be a whole community in here. The Forest Hunters! Yeah, sure, they're gonna try attack you on your first time in, but as soon as you join their covenant, they totally chill out. You have a whole group of people to hang out with, and you have an entire forest to live in. And a cat! You have all the materials you need to make yourself a sick cabin in the woods, and chances are, you could get the whole gang to help you out. With all the vegetation and wildlife, you'd be able to cook up premium meals. I mean, there is certainly no shortage of mushrooms. You could swim in the lake, you can frolic to your heart's content, and there's no shortage of trespassers to help hunt down. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, you've got friends, there aren't a whole lot of enemies around. It truly is the perfect place to live in Dark Souls.